Hey, so yeah, this weekend was a bit of a rain out. Saturday it rained all day, and so there were no garage sales. There were one or two popped up on the Sunday, which is today, but there were just there wasn't anything there. So I got nothing. So I figured, you know what? I'm gonna go over some of my favorite finds because why not? You know what? I'll do an introduction for those of you who are new here to the channel. My name is Jay. I have been collecting since the pretty much everything. You can just look around the store here. Every bit of whatever that's caught my eye over the years I've collected. I did really get into toys, vintage toys. Records are kind of a big thing for me. Comic books, mid-century modern furniture, weird glass, you know, that sort of thing. Magazines, pop culture in general. That has been my jam, as I said, since the late 70s. That's how old I am. I have been selling on eBay since 1998. And I've had this retail store since it's been, yeah, I'm getting, next year will be my 20th year being here. It's in a small town in Ontario, Canada called Dunnville, and if you're ever nearby, feel free to drop in. I'll put the links to the store down there, and I post the hours every week on Instagram and on the Facebooks. So yeah, years ago when Marketplace started out, which was around 2017, it was a different beast. Now you see something pop up on Marketplace and it's gone like that. And if literally it isn't your next door neighbor selling it, the chances of you getting something that's good and priced with a little meat left on the bone is nil. I'm going to say nil. But back in the day, there weren't as many people on there using it. It was, and you know, I was an early adopter. Yeah, I'm that kid. I know. No, I'm not. I just lucked out and found it. Somebody else told me and said it was good to find stuff on and to do a bit of selling on. So there I was. And I ended up one day sitting there, something popped up, and it was a Battlestar Galactica toy in the box. It was a Viper, and I was like, oh wow. And they only had 40 bucks on it. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. The weird thing about it was I noticed that they had listed it like at least a week before, and I hadn't seen it, so I didn't know what was going on. And I just contacted the guy. The guy said, sure, it's yours, come pick it up. And I headed over there, and I was super happy with that. And I said, do you have anything else? He's like, yeah, I've got two other ones that are listed up on there. And I was like, didn't even think to look, because I was so excited, and it was still, you know, new Marketplace, so you didn't always just check what they had. And I ended up getting two other Battlestar Galactica toys in the box, and for 40 bucks each. And the one he brought out, at the time, I knew it was rare because as a kid I didn't remember it. I didn't realize how rare and how valuable it was. I'm not going to fib. I was shocked when I went to go do the comps on eBay. So I'm just going to get into it and show you the toy itself. And yeah, perhaps, I'm going to say perhaps my best find ever on Facebook Marketplace. So there it is. Now, if you guys haven't already looked it up, can you figure out which one is the over $2,000, and I'm going to say US dollars even though I'm in Canada, vintage toy out of these three? They're all pretty good. I would have been happy to get any one of these on any day with a box and have them be in such good condition and as complete as they are. And there's, you know, for those who know Battlestar Galactica, there's one extra kind of bonus added on this. It's the Landram. It's that one right there. That guy right there is especially rare, and especially for 70s toys. It's one of the rarest 70s toys. It is certainly, it isn't the rarest Battlestar Galactica toy, but it is the rarest Battlestar Galactica toy that actually was sold in stores. There was a large ship that was actually of the Battlestar Galactica that never was mocked up and made. They did some test shots, I think, on it. It was never, as far as I know, sold in stores. So that thing is like the rarest. But this, in terms of being actually available in the retail stores, yeah, this is it. This is the one that is the hardest one to find. And I'll tell you what I know about it and why. So it was only available, as far as I know, in Canada. I'm in Canada, so it makes sense it was around here. In the States, the television show got canceled, and so Mattel canceled the line. They pushed out what they had made, and that was it. They didn't do anything new. Now, the Mattel arm in Canada did the Battle Ram, and they had produced it and stuck it out in the stores anyways. They didn't make a lot of them, apparently, and because the TV show was canceled, these didn't sell very well. They went into the the glorious sales bins back in the day, and that was it. There was no real thing. The Landram was in the show. It wasn't used very often, but it definitely was in the show. So that is the reason why it's pretty difficult to find. And because Battlestar Galactica is a iconic 1970s toy and show that was around the world, it is fairly desirable. It's not as desirable. If this thing was a Star Wars piece, I mean, it would be like even more money, but it's shocking that it regularly sells, and I'm talking not complete, and I'm talking without the box, in the $2,000 range. With the box, it goes, I don't even know, because I haven't seen one sell with a box. I don't know. And this box is nice, and the toy is nice and complete, and yeah, it's one of the nicest vintage toy boxes that I've had in terms of condition. It's not perfect, but it pretty much nearly is. So we're going to get into it. So this was what I actually saw on Marketplace first, was the Colonial Viper. I had this as a kid. As soon as it popped up, I'm like, gotta have that, want it for myself, no issues whatsoever. Drove there, and the guy said, there you go, and brought it out and showed me, and I looked, and it had the guy inside, which is almost always missing. A lot of these, the parts are almost always missing, but it came with the box. And it also came with, which I know is like toy nerd stuff, but I'm hoping some of you guys are toy nerds. Excuse me, the made in Hong Kong bag that it would have came in. No styrofoam, no instructions, unfortunately, but still pretty happy. I love the graphics on this box. It is, I mean, it's amazing. It is the Canadian version, as you can see, and there's a little bit of tape up there. So it's in French and English, and there is the back. And what is great about this one is the little missile at the end, ready for it, fires. So the reason why that's kind of important is that in the late 70s, a child, or possibly several, I can't remember the exact details, got one of those lodged in their throat. I don't know if they died or not, but they decided that that was a bad idea in terms of toy safety, and they canceled it using that. What they replaced it with, and I can show you here because this is from the later, after that, is your missiles wouldn't actually fire out. They would be like this. They would just sort of pop, but not actually fire out. So the first run of these came with these firing missiles. So that's the kind of thing that everybody really wants. So it was an added bonus for me. I was just, you know, super ecstatic when I took it home and it fired, because I didn't know that when I bought it. 40 bucks. I know, it was, you know, robbery, but still, I was ecstatic. He said he had some more, and out came these two. Again, this was still a bit of a mystery for me. I had a friend who was a toy collector, and he had said, if you ever see the Landram, buy it, keep your eye out for it. It's pretty rare, but I never really paid too much attention to it because I don't remember it being in the store shelves or ever having it. I do remember this because I also had this, which is the Cylon Raider ship. This one came again. It's in really nice shape. Stickers are there and very little wear to them. There's a bit of peel up, but nothing terrible considering these are, you know, toys. And it had his guy in there and the canopy, which is almost always missing. And again, with this one, I'll show you. There you go. The press button mechanism fires a pretty good rate too, which is kind of good. And this is the box here, and it came also with its Hong Kong baggie and 2 extra missiles, which was kind of neat. The box, out of the things, the box is not, I mean, it actually, the front display is actually really nice. The back, pretty cool too. There's no major tears. There's some wear here, but overall, this is a good, you know, I would consider a good box. Is it worth grading it? I don't think so. I'm not a big fan of like grading toys anyways, honestly, because I'm just sort of a collector more than anything else. But yeah, still a great, like, amazing graphic. Looks amazing with the toy in front of it. Great for display. Perfectly happy. And again, $40 for this one. But this one here is it. This is everything, as the kids like to say. I don't actually know what the kids say anymore. But this is the Colonial Landram. And I'm going to go over the box with you. That is the front. There's your side panel. There is a bit of tearing there. Nothing crazy. Top. And it is French and English because it was for the Canadian market. And that is the back, which sadly does have a bit of a tear on it, but nothing terrible. Like, this is a solid box overall. That's what she said. But this is, yeah, it's your, it's a great toy overall. It came with a separate set of wheels here. Now this is, I've seen 1 or 2 others that come, and I've never seen an extra set of wheels thrown in there, so maybe that was an added bonus. And you could switch them out. I'm not going to do it, but there are tabs in there. You could switch them out, and you could get rid of the tracks that were on this one, and then just have it on the wheels. If you wanted to just wheel it, you could just pop it off and go in there. Everything appears to be there. It has the little mechanism that holds it onto there. That's often missing. And the missiles at the top, again, not firing ones, but they do pop. Stickers are pretty good. Everything looks to be as it should be. And I don't know if I'll be able to get the door open because this was always a little bit tricky. Oh yeah, there you go. So the door is open and the doors are there. And same on this side and on this one. I'll put handles on it. It came with this little guy right there, Colonial Warrior. So yeah, I am, again, it's super tough to find. It is such, it's a pretty basic toy, but it is sculpted really well. It's basically a box, but if you were into Battlestar, which I loved that show. You know, we were all hungry for Star Wars after the movie came out, and it was obvious there wasn't going to be another Star Wars anytime soon for a while, and they did do the Christmas special, which, you know, we all know about, but this was awesome. Like, and I believe that a lot of the guys who worked on the first Star Wars movie ended up working on Battlestar Galactica, so the space scenes were fantastic. They were totally comparable with the Star Wars stuff. So this was everything. And so yeah, basically, like I said, that's probably a $2,000 plus toy, easy, like easy. I'm imagining it could probably fetch more. And it's something that somebody might want to get graded. Not me, I'm not that guy, but somebody will. It comes with both sets of instructions, English, there you go, and Le Français. might be Le Francais. I can't remember. I was never good at that part in school. But there it all is, 1979. And this one has the printed in Canada. And is the sticker sheet. So there is still parts of a sticker still left on there. I don't know where it would go on. I'm not going to fib. But it's nice to have that. And so, yeah. So basically, that was my best, I think. I'm trying to think of anything else that's come close. I've had some pretty big record scores off of Marketplace over the years, but that's more from me advertising and people contacting me. But this was just in terms of raw. And again, Marketplace now, back in the day, it was a different beast than what it is today. If this had popped up today, I would never have got this. Even though it was close by, I would never have got this. Somebody who knew toys would have been like, that toy's worth blah, blah, blah. And then the person would have said, never brought it out to me. They would have probably said, that toy's worth more, just because people do that. I've found, they're bitter that they don't get it. Somebody's on the way to pick it up. And then they'll say, yeah, it's worth this. I've had that happen so many times when you show up and the person's like, somebody told me it's worth this much. And I'll be like, okay, here we go. Here's the sales comps. Here's what it goes for. Here's what I'm, willing to pay you. I don't argue with people about, well, you said it was this much, and blah, because it's their stuff until the money changes hands. But yeah, now it's like there are bitter people. If I can't get it, then I'm going to make sure that nobody gets it. And then I've even seen cases where people have put the stuff back up again because I'm like, no, it's not worth it to me. And they demand that that's what they have to get now, the absolute top retail for it. And then it'll sit for months and months and months. And then they'll contact me and say, hey, would you still be willing to offer what you originally offered for it? And usually I say, yeah. I'm not a bitter person generally. I'm not going to get angry. Everybody, doesn't know the business side of selling vintage anything as much. And they learn pretty quickly. But yeah, this would never, none of these would come in. And I've kept them because, A, I loved Battlestar Galactica. And I actually had these toys as a kid. And that's what I do. I don't collect every toy. I've had toy lines I don't have a ton of interest in, but I know other people who do, so I buy for that. But Battlestar Galactica and certain Star Wars toys, I had them as a kid, and those are the ones that I have kept over the years, and these ones I'll probably hang on to for a little while longer too, because they're just, I am a bit of a catch and release guy, but these ones have sat up on my shelf ever since I got them, and that's probably where they'll end up staying. So yeah, so that is the story of what may just be my best Facebook Marketplace score ever. So yeah, tell you what, if you guys have stories about your best finds, I love hearing about this stuff. Throw them into the comments because I love hearing about amazing things that people find. It keeps me excited about this because nobody should get into this business to get rich. I know that, guy on TV who flies around in jets and buys all kinds of stuff. It's ridiculous. Is rich, but he was probably rich before he started. People in general, you're doing this, or at least I am anyways. I shouldn't project onto other people. Everybody has their own reasons for telling. I do this for the nostalgia, but it's the hunt. I love finding stuff. I love digging through old places. I love going through basements and crawl spaces. I love getting into attics and sheds that people have forgot about. That's why I do this. It's the hunt. It is like, I'm not going to lie, it is like an addiction for me. That is why I go out every Saturday for yard sales. It's why I drive all over Hell's Half Acre to get to old barns that look like they're falling down and dig through them, is the hunt. And this, that hit every button for me. So let me know, hey, cool stuff you found, or maybe even why you collect. Just throw it in the comments there. I love seeing that kind of stuff. All right, I'm going to leave it off there for now. I hope you guys, maybe have luck like I did that one time. The stuff is still out there. You just got to keep looking for it. All right, bye.